For your perspectives of globalization and its importance in current era, I move to my next question to Dr. Muhammad Azmal and Doctor. In fact, two. First one is, Doctor, is globalization good or bad or ugly? Explain the causes of globalization, Doctor. Actually, I have two questions, Doctor. I got it. Doctor got it, and this is the first question. Could you please answer my question first, Doctor?
Thanks, Rahman. It's an interesting question. Here is my take. As I have explained already, globalization can be viewed as a pervasive or universal phenomenon. And let me take the global higher education industry or higher education sector as a case to offer you depth. Now, in my view, in my eyes, the question is not whether there are benefits of globalization or not. Evidently, there are sizable, consequential, significant benefits such as standardization and accreditation of education. So that give you recognition. So as a skilled worker, you can go anywhere in the world and work and establish yourself. Now you can visualize that sustainable digital transformation capabilities have led to new pedagogical approaches in teaching, learning, and engagement, specifically in the universities. That's huge because it opened a window of opportunity for the students, right, to be engaged with the course delivery, learning, and engagement. And also, to a certain extent, that there's a dominance of technology enhanced learning tool where students from one country, they are able to access education from the other countries. So the national borders are not physical borders anymore. That's a significant change. And I would like to quote a different learning mechanisms such as blended learning, real world learning, universal design of learning, all became possible because of the dominance of technology enhanced tools. One other view I would like to quote is the emergence of MOOCs. We call that the emergence of MOOCs. We call that as a massive online open courses has made the learning extraordinarily easy, extraordinarily gainable. So, for example, if you take Coursera, platform, one of the dynamic platform, right, a world class platform which offer various type of courses for a student across the world. As long as you have the capacity to pay $35, you are able to follow, right? You can have access to a course you like, right? And of course, with the global validity. So the emergence of MOOCs has made the learning extraordinarily easy. And also, I observed from the higher education sector specifically, a wide range of assessments are used to assess students' performance in education, such as in education, curriculum, and scholarship. But remember, I mean, it's equally important to take note of this question. Remember, most of the benefits of globalization have been enjoyed by relatively a few countries. Now, that's a key thing to know. The most importantly, the benefits of the globalization have been enjoyed by a few nations, interestingly. So the new question is, who is enjoying those benefits? I supposed to say what I supposed to say. So, in my view, through a different angle, the key beneficiaries are developed economists, capitalists, and high-skilled knowledge workers. Now, you asked me the first question, the benefits. I hope I have provided you a comprehensive analysis or explanation. Now, let me move to the challenges part, the challenges of the globalization. I don't like to use the word bad, but instead I would like to use the word challenges because that can give you a different perspective. In my view, mature economies are growing at a healthier rate compared to emerging economies or emerging economic situation, although emerging economies incur a rapid and disruptive economic growth. So that can cause a economic imbalance time to time. You see, one of the other challenge or key challenge, I would like to call it, the dominance of multinational and global brand. So the dominance of multinational and global brand radically diminishing the opportunities for local entrepreneurs, opportunities for small and medium enterprise to a large extent. Now, because of the globalization, the birth of new industries such as outsourcing or information technology offshoring, in those industries, employees are facing health, well-being issues, right, to a considerable level. Um, and loss of culture, loss of cultural identity, loss of cultural value, loss of originality of a culture, novelty of a culture are popular subjects nowadays in developing countries. Immigration of high skilled worker, particularly from emerging economies to mature economies, it's a trend, and it has become unstoppable to a large extent. And in certain cases, exploitation of labor and skills and working long hours are inevitable. All these have to be managed to a large extent. So those are few challenges I identified from a global perspective. But now this is my favorite part. This is my take. You asked me the question, the ugly part of globalization. Now, uh, the outcome of digital divide can be viewed as the unpleasant or the ugly part of globalization, meaning the process of digitalization and access to education are not happening equally well all over the world. Now that creates a digital divide, right? So that limits the access to digital education, specifically in the developing countries. Now this is a severe issue. The reason is that has the capacity to undesirably or negatively influence the knowledge gap, right, among the societies, right, which is not desirable by any means. So the worst part is, I repeat it, that gap, the digital divide gap is widening, which requires immediate attention. So that's the ugly part. Now remember, this is my conclusive take. Now, globalization is not dead. Remember that. Surely the current version of the globalization is fading away, which you and I are experiencing. However, the death of the globalization has been much exaggerated. So you may be having the question, what is the new version? What's the mantra of it? Now, remember, everything has happened in double quick time since the arrival of COVID-19 pandemic has pointed to a new paradigm. You know, some expert view that as a deglobalization. Others call perhaps more accurately globalization. That means globalization plus localization, globalization. I hope I managed to shed light on about the benefits and the challenges and the ugly part of it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Doctor. Actually, you mentioned so many things in your answer, Doctor. You mentioned the Coursera, that the platform offering degrees and master institute of universities, and you talked about and you enlightened about deglobalization and digital divide. So many answers you gave us, Doctor. And